What's up guys? I want to do a video on the SOG Creed. This is the fixed blade I used in that demo, cutting all those water bottles. And it's a fantastic knife. I'm still testing it. And I want to do another cut test. I want to do something a little bit different. Something that, you know, we all have that we need to cut on a daily basis, but something no one ever shows. And there's only one thing I could think of. I mean, I would imagine it's pretty obvious, but think real hard. What's that one thing that we all need to cut just pretty much every day, but no one ever shows a video on it? A fire hose, right? You know how common that is. Alright, obviously I'm kidding around. I did acquire this fire hose, and I figured it'd make a great medium to cut, because if you can cut through a fire hose, you can probably cut anything you want. You're talking about a really thick canvas material that's lined with thick rubber. It has to be able to handle, you know, immense pressures, so it's definitely tough stuff. And I did acquire, is the word. Actually, it's being thrown out. I happened to see it there by the garbage, and I just took it. Because, you know, once it goes out to the curb, it's anyone's game. So yes, I am a garbage picker, just for you guys. But apparently there's a little bit of a wear mark here on the hose. So they threw it out. So I snatched it up, and now I'm going to use it to cut. So I want to come in close to this, show you guys. And I want to see how this is going to get to this, or how it doesn't get to that. Really, we'll find out. First thing I'm going to do is take off this nozzle. We don't need that. It's a interesting conversation piece. I'll put this somewhere on my mantle or something. Anyway, all right, so here's our hose. And as you can imagine, I mean, it's just a really thick canvas material, like I said, and it's lined with thick rubber. As I cut into it, if I cut a piece off, I'll show you up close what it looks like, you know, from the side. But I never attempted to do this. I'm just gonna go for it. I don't really know any way specifically to attack this other than to just try to cut it. So here we go. Fire hose. I don't know if anyone's ever tried this before. I assume at some point they have, but I certainly haven't seen a video on it. So I'm gonna try to get this in one cut, but I have no idea. We'll see. Ready? Only got through half of it. That's not bad on one pass. All right. So 2 passes through. Very heavy passes. I mean, I'm putting a lot of pressure on this to cut this, but it made it through. We have an extremely thick rubber, and it's bonded. I thought it'd be like an inner sleeve, but it's not. It's actually like bonded to this canvas material. It's almost as if the canvas is stitched into it, into the rubber. But interesting. Definitely a hard material to cut. So let's try that again. Let's try another cut. This time, I'm gonna hold it like kind of up in my armpit, and I'm gonna cut down here a little bit more and see if I can get this in one pass. I don't know if it's easier to start from the tip and go in, or from the heel here and go down. I'll try it like this. All right. Well, I want to brace it really good. That's one. Alright, so it looks like it takes two passes on this. Let me rip through this side of this. You can open it up. Yeah, this is not an easy material to cut through. Cut little pieces off there. Certainly a sharp knife. Alright, I don't know if that was in frame or not, but I'm going to do another cut here. What I'm doing is I'm gonna hold this up by my armpit so I can brace the material easier. You know, just kind of hold it like this and up against my body. So when I'm cutting it, what I want a lot of pressure. I'm gonna wheel this back up because it's gonna cut better if it's not flop. If it's all floppy here, I'll have no stability to actually cut through it. So what I want is, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let this, I'm gonna unravel this a little bit. Actually get a stand on part of it. So if I stand on it on the ground and then hold it up, there's a lot of tension on it, which is easier to make the cut. So let's try that. Let's see if that works better. All right, so now I'm stepping on the one end and holding it up, and then we're going to try to cut that way. All right, now this time, instead of starting from the heel and moving downward, I'm going to start from the tip and then push down towards the base. So we'll see if that makes a difference cutting. Not really. Kind of slipped a little bit there. Got roughly, I don't know, 40% in. It's making a nice clean cut. It's just the rubber creates so much drag on this. It does not want to go through rubber at all. So let's try another cut. And you can see once I got down to the base, pretty effective. Got about halfway through again, just from the length of the blade and the drag. The rubber has so much drag with it. It's crazy. As you're cutting through, you know, thick rubber, your blade just does not want to glide through. So this is where, particularly cutting rubber, this is where your grinds and your blade shape and the thickness is really going to be a huge factor. All those little things are going to add up, and it's going to create, I mean, depending on what your situation is with your knife, it could create somewhat of a wedge, and it won't be effective in cutting. It'll just want to wedge in there and stick as opposed to glide through. So when cutting something that's rubber, the thinner the blade, the better, really. This is a very, you know, thick fixed blade, so it's not ideal. But being that it is so sharp, it's still cutting just fine. So again, for the second cut, I'm gonna start with the tip and then work my way down. I think I'll get all the way through it. And there you have it. So just in case, by the off chance you have to cut some fire hose, which you probably never will, the Creed works just fine for that. Use this backwards and kind of rip through this. Split that open. And let's cut this apart. There you go. I'll save this material. In fact, these little pieces I'm not going to throw out. I'll save these and might even use this for some of the folding cut demos in the future, because this stuff is extremely hard to get through. Like I said, I mean, just having a thick rubber. And let me well, so I can put this back in the sheath for a second. I want to come in close and show you the edge here, so you get an idea of what this looks like. The material itself it's bonded to the rubber. It's almost as if the rubber is just created or melted into the material. So it's not just another layer. They're connected. You cannot separate these. All right, you can't. It's one thing. Pretty interesting. I've never seen anything like this before. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you this interesting test, something different. Like I said, I'll save this material for future testing, but I want to start chopping with this thing. I mean, it seems like it'd be a nice chopper, but you know, you just don't know until you try it, right? So I'm gonna have some other videos chopping someone with this knife. And that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your time, as always, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.